Hey guys, what's going on? So I assume people are wondering where, maybe they're wondering, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have unsubscribed and are probably actively quitting the game. Or maybe they're just unsubscribing to me and subscribing to other people. But I have had a drop in subscribers as of late. The only reason why I even noticed it was because I was gaining subscribers, but the numbers wasn't changing. And I assume that's because most people are actively quitting the game, which is something. I just went on to A Friend Gaming stream, and even he is actively upset about this game. So the state of this game is really, really bad. But as I've always said, it's not our game, it's their game. And if everybody decides to leave, that's on them. So I trust that a lot of people have looked at the Discord where they talked about 28.0, and they looked at reincarnation, and they looked at new hero levels to level 100, and they expected me to talk about them. And I don't want to. I don't want to because for a number of reasons. One, I don't want to deal with all the questions that you will inevitably have that I can't answer about what even is that. They even talked about the Forge. That's a visual. They're changing how visually the Forge looks in the game. And then they talked about divisions, and then they've talked about. Oh, I guess they didn't talk about it. They talked about it to us, about reincarnation. And even after reading what they talked to us about reincarnation, I still don't really get it. So I'd rather not until it drops in-game, or until content creators level 3 or above, or level 3, until like a Momo Royale releases a video, so that we can visually see what it even is. And even then, I still might not talk about it for the other reason that I'm pretty sure I will just be flooded with comments of things that they've already done. Things that they've already ruined in the game. So, for example, the amount of magic orbs that you need, which I get it. I totally get it. I have 0 magic orbs. I just upgraded a Banshee. So beyond this entire, toxic deck that I've been working on, there are also other things that I could be upgrading, and I can't. I trust that people will want to talk about events, and how there's no free-to-play side, and how you get this amazing, rare equipment. I trust that a lot of people will want to talk about all of that, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it because there's nothing that I can say about it, because it's not my game, it's their game, and the answers that you're looking for, I don't have. And I feel like I'm gonna go into a gameplay thing soon, but I wanted to say this up front because I think when I go into the game, I'm not going to be able to switch back into this mode. So I will say all of this now, and then I will talk about this Treant deck. The thing about people saying that the developers don't hear what we have to say, they ask for feedback and they don't hear what we have to say, or they don't do anything about it. They're not required to do anything about anything that you say. But that also doesn't mean that they didn't hear it. Rush Royale just put out a video about it was their YouTube amazing results video on their YouTube for their 4th birthday, and literally just a large quantity of the comments are just, why did you take away the event coins from the free to play pass, right? And people equate they don't hear us with they didn't change it. Because, we told you, put the event coins back, and you didn't change it, so you didn't hear us. You didn't hear what we had to say. And it's no, they did hear you. They're just not going to change it. And then when they do change it, it's because they decided to change it, not because they didn't hear you. They heard you, but they also don't have any requirement to change it if they don't feel like changing it. For the same reason why people complain about, oh, how come Book of Secrets isn't in the game anymore? They've heard that complaint from everyone, everywhere, but they're not required to just bring it back. And that doesn't mean that because they didn't change it, that they didn't hear you or that they didn't understand that you had that complaint. They know. They're just not going to change it. And they might change it down the line. And they might say, oh, due to customer complaint, we're going to add 10 coins into the free-to-play pass because people wanted coins back. So you get 10 coins for the free-to-play pass. You're welcome. And then they can spin that like, oh, see, we listen to feedback. It's like, no. Rush Royale developers, you're wrong. As much as I want to say like people are wrong, Rush Royale developers, you're wrong. You didn't do that because you heard the complaint. You did that because you wanted to do it. And it's two different weird ways of miscommunication on both ends. People say that we complain about magic orbs and the magic orb system sucks, right? And then they didn't change it, and they didn't do anything about it. So then they think, oh, well, the Rush Royale developer, they don't hear us. And then it's like, no, the Rush Royale development team did hear you. They just didn't change it. And then when they did change it, they were like, oh, see, we changed it because you complained. We heard your complaints. It's like, no, you didn't change it because they complained. You just changed it because you wanted to change it. That's all of this. Why is reincarnation happening? Who asked for this? Why did, the levels going to 100? Why is that happening? Who asked for this? We didn't ask for this. And the Rush Royale development team is going to be like, well, we're doing it for reasons. And this is the discourse right now. It's just like people were angry that they took away free-to-play coins, and Rush Royale was like, yeah, but we're adding 20 levels to heroes. There's nothing to talk about. And so I don't know, the game is theirs and they can do whatever they want with it. And you either play the game or you don't. And so if you've gotten this far into this video, for one, thank you. And two, I'd like to explain to you idiot-proof Treant. Because I'd rather talk about something else. Something that's not the politics of this game, because that's literally what the discourse is becoming. Anytime I respond to a comment, I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about the politics of the game. The politics of, are they going to change? Are they going to make Rush Royale great again? Or somebody needs to market that. Somebody needs to market that as a hat. I trust there's a section of the fan base that will wear it. So this is idiot-proof Treant. And the reason why I call it idiot-proof Treant is because my original build of Treant was with Trapper. And the simple inclusion of Crystalmancer instead of Trapper with the Dark Domain faction bonus that's happening right now. So you have 4 days to play around with this deck. The inclusion of a Crystalmancer as opposed to a Trapper is that you don't have to upgrade. You don't have to manually upgrade your Gunslinger. And by manually upgrading your Gunslinger, I mean when you run Trapper in this deck, which I think is technically the better version of the deck, you have to actively, whenever you do a Scrapper hit, you have to catch Scrapper hits so that your Gunslinger upgrades to level 7. And then when you downgrade your level 7 Gunslinger with your Treant ability, what happens is 7 Treants will get a stack. With Mycelium Masters, which is what you're running, every single stack is giving you 0.8%. And then after 70 leaves, it gives you 0.2%. This is how your Treant is gaining damage over the course of the game. This deck just kind of works. It all works together. And that's what I like about it. But the reason why this is idiot-proof Treant is because in this version, with the Dark Domain faction bonus, as well as the Crystalmancer max ability Absorb Energy, your Crystalmancer and your Gunslinger are upgrading so fast that you actively cannot keep up with it. The only thing that could push this version of this deck even farther is if they change the cooldown of Treant's activated ability. So if the cooldown was less than 20 seconds, if you could press the button whenever you wanted to, this deck would be so good. This deck would be genie levels of good. But that is the only thing that holds you back, is that you can only press the button every 20 seconds. Because what you're doing is you're building 7 Treants in the Sharpened Spear fashion. You're putting 2 Crystalmancers. I've tried more and I've tried less, and I think that 2 is the actual perfect amount. You're putting 2 Crystalmancers onto the 2 opposite corners of your Knight statues, because you're also running Hold the Line. I did say this is idiot-proof Treant. So most people run Stone Legion, and the reason to run Stone Legion is that when you have wacky things around your Knight statue, if 2 of your Knight statues are level 7, you're getting a 14% boost. But if you just have your Knight statue is covered with the same unit, you get a 15% boost just off the bat. So you don't have to get them to level 7. Your goal is to get them to level 7, obviously, but you don't have to. And then they will already have 15% critical damage once you just surround them with Treants, which is what you will be doing anyway, and so that's not a problem. I'm running Barrier and Sharpened Spear, and essentially you're doing the Sharpened Frenzy setup of the 3-2-3. But I think you're running 3, 4, 5. You're running 1 less. And so I will show you the setup. Gunslinger obviously makes this deck infinitely easy. And then Gadget with the gold tiles. What I end up doing is, once I get into like mid death waves, I say mid death waves because this deck normally goes like 5 minutes. Once I go into like the 2-minute mark, I take account into how many gold tiles I have on the floor and whether or not those gold tiles are very conveniently placed on my setup. If most of the gold tiles are just on my setup, like all the Treants on my setup or all the Crystalmancers on my setup, normally I would just leave it. But because you are running Gunslinger, you have the ability at like the 2-minute mark, 2:30, to completely rearrange your entire field and then change to and to utilize all of your gold tiles so that your Mushroom Nausea works even better. This is every 15th time the Treant attacks, you're doing 300% damage, and it also stuns. With the Knight statue increasing your attack speed, and then with me running the Spear, your attack speed is so quick that your mushrooms are just activating, and that is also increasing your damage. I'm running a Amulet of Swiftness because I just think that it's easier in this build. And then I'm running a Hunter's Jacket for no specific reason other than all 3 are counter spells. I'm running the power version of this deck. And so basically you're always going to die to Toxic. 100% of the time, this deck just dies to Toxic. I've tried running Regeneration with the triple counterspell with a Mermaid, and I still die to Toxic. It doesn't matter. So instead of trying to prevent myself from dying to Toxic with, I'll just kind of run a Regeneration, I'd rather go full damage and just try to beat damage-based decks. With Defoliation, the number of leaves received from using the mana power-up, which you are constantly going to use, every time the mana power-up button is available, you just press it. Originally, in my Trapper build, I would wait until my Gunslinger got to level 7, then start pressing the button. In this build, even if you have level 3 Crystalmancers or level 3 Gunslingers, press the button. Just keep pressing the button. And then with Defoliation, you have a 40% chance of getting an extra leave. And that's pretty good. So I'm going to play this deck, and you'll see how just idiot-proof it is. Once you understand what the setup is, it becomes really easy. So I was hoping that I would play against a damage-based deck, and so we are. And so this will be pretty good. You do need to have the 3 counterspells, so that is a factor. I'm going to put this in the corner just so that I can use it. You are putting your the two on opposite corners, and then whichever corner that you put them on, it doesn't matter which, you're doing the opposite corner for your two knight statues. So I'm gonna go here, here, and then I'm gonna go here. You're obviously putting it on the opposite corner because you can put all of your Treants here, and then everything will get 15%. And if everything is here, then you want your other one on the opposite corner, which will be this corner, and then you want your other Crystalmancer, obviously, on this corner. Obviously, you only want the one Gunslinger and the two Crystalmancers, which gives you 3. And with the Dark Domain faction bonus, you're getting 3 upgrades per boss. So I'm gonna eat this. That's fine. You actually actively want your Treants and your Knight statues to upgrade. And so normally in the Trapper build, I would always try to catch all of those hits. I don't need to anymore. So now that I have all 3 here, I'm getting the 15% bonus, which you would normally have to get if you had both of them at level 7. And now this Knight statue is already going to give me a 15% bonus. I now need to eat that. Minus this. And then obviously I'm just going to put this in the corner and then get my second Crystalmancer. This is an awkward gold tile. So when we get into that 2-minute mark, I might end up changing it. Something that's kind of funny about this build is that you almost actually want your, whenever your Gunslinger is going to get hit with a Scrapper hit, you almost want to give it to something else. You want to give it to a Knight statue, you want to give it to, theoretically, a Treant, because your Gunslinger will just keep upgrading every single round. And like I said, because you can only activate your mana power-up, your Treant power, every 20 seconds, you don't have enough time. Everything is upgrading so quickly that you can't keep up with leveling all 3 of these down. This is essentially it. So you have 6 Treants here. I usually like putting the 7th one here. And the reason why is because my Gunslinger will go here. All of my Scrappers will go over here. And then when I get this other Treant, the Treant goes there. And this is the entire setup. You have your 7 Treants right now. You have your main Recycler Scrapper in the center so that you can keep getting Knight statue stacks whenever you get new Treants. Obviously, whenever you're still at level 1s, you're going to want to upgrade your Treants. Just like the regular way Treant is supposed to be played. Always hit your mana power up. Always hit your Scrapper. And then always hit your Gunslinger. It's just cooldown .deck is what this is. With your Gunslinger power, you don't technically need to use it if you have a level 9, or if you don't have the Lucky Shot ability. The Lucky Shot is just gaining you mana. And so there's no reason to not use your Gunslinger ability. All of that blue that you're seeing, sometimes... I'm killing things too fast. Yeah, so then you minus, you use your mana power-up, you use your Scrapper power-up so you can get rid of that. Everything is upgrading. This is already a 6. Use your Gunslinger power-up. You can save anything that gets Fire Guide. I don't have the level 1s anymore. And this is it. This is the entire deck. You just do this until your opponent dies or until the game ends. It's idiot-proof Treant. I basically took this to go from 6,500 trophies to 7,000 trophies at my like 5k crit level. I just used my scrapper power up. I could have combined these and then minused it, and that would have given me an extra amount of time to continue playing. But it's fine. So we can do that now. Treant power. Your Crystalmancers are upgrading every so often for the 60% chance, I believe, with the absorb energy. A 65% chance of upgrading every single time a boss dies, and then you auto upgrade every single time a boss dies anyway because of the Dark Domain faction boost. So you have chances for double upgrades, which is why you are just constantly going to want to press that mana power up. See, they're both at 7 now, and this is at a 6, and I can't level them down quick enough. So as soon as you can, just always hit that mana power, and your Treants will just keep growing. And like I said, you actively don't even want to catch scrapper hits. You want all of your scrapper hits to hit everything else. I don't even care that this gets downgraded. I mean, I can just because I can, but I don't necessarily care that that gets downgraded. And this is it. As you can see, this is a level 2. So you are going to want, if the scrapper hit is going to hit the gunslinger, you are going to want to switch it to this guy. You want to upgrade your knight statues as much as you can. Oh, I didn't even realize this switched. Okay. There we go. Obviously, always have your recycler so that you're constantly getting the 30%. 30%? 20%? 20%. Again, I could save this. I don't have to, but because I can, I will. This is a level 3 now. I think I only have the 1 gold tile, which is on this knight statue, which is awkward. Your games will vary. Yeah, see, these are bad tile placements. So what I'm probably gonna do mid-game is relocate all my entire field. I am gonna save this. You do want to save your Treants from the fire guys. They lose 2 ranks, which is pretty bad. In terms of knight statue stacks, I am going for 30 stacks because that's when it's... Oh, I could have done that. I was talking. In terms of knight statue stacks, I try to go for 30, and then and hopefully by the time I get to 30, I can rearrange my field. Because then I won't care about knight statue stacks anymore. 30 is when it starts to go back down. So you get 1.2 up to 30, and then 0.3, which is a useless number, every stack after that. So we're death waves now. Obviously, I'm going to put a knight statue here, and then I will still have all of the Treants around it to get the 15%. And then I'll be able to utilize all 3 gold tiles that I've received. I'm going to go here. I don't want to summon in here because if I summon in a knight statue, both of the knight statues will turn off. Both of my knight statues are at 5, which is pretty good. I could probably stop using my mana power up now. And even if you don't, if your mana power is, your gunslinger power is on cooldown, you can obviously switch whenever the boss comes out, and then you can get the. Oh, I just said that I was gonna stop using the gunslinger power, and I used it anyway. So this is really risky. I saved this, and I used the gunslinger power, so I might not have it during the boss. Never put yourself in that position. I'm gonna not use the gunslinger power here. I have 20,000 mana. I do not need any more mana than that. I'm gonna do this anyway. If anything, I could switch. If I start falling behind in the waves, I can switch something and then get the ghost shot that way. And then I'm gonna use my mana power for this. This is an insane amount of scrappers. Like, I can't keep up with my scrappers either, apparently. Yeah. I'm gonna use my... Obviously, this Tribunal does literal nothing to me. It doesn't do anything to this deck. It's your favorite boss. It's like that and a Korgan. Nothing will happen to you. The ones that are obviously the worst are Grandmasters and Bedlams. Oh, I could have switched something. I guess I could have switched this because that's at a 4 for some reason. I probably used the gunslinger power too quick there, but it should be fine because I can switch. I should be switching all of my everything here. I'm gonna move this one in, move this one over. Yep. And I'm gonna move that one up there. So this is now my new permanent setup. I'm utilizing all 3 growth tile, or all 3 gold tiles. And then I'm just gonna bounce off of these 2 spots. I'm gonna switch this here. And then you just keep doing what you're doing. I use my mana power up here. I think I'll be fine. We have a Grandmaster, which is, like I said, the worst boss. But hopefully this will work out. It probably will not. Oh, it will. That was just a lucky Grandmaster. They could have easily have merged out 2 of my Treants, and that would be very bad. Oh, we have a Dark Priest here. I'm not too worried about that. Gold tile on another Treant. Perfectly placed Treant. Like, there's no amount of trying in this deck. Like, it just works because it works. When you run the Trapper version and you have to just keep catching scrapper hits, there's a margin for error for you. With this, it just does it. It works itself out. The lag is real. It works itself out if there's no lag. I'm not even afraid of Monkey King. I am afraid of this Knight statue being active. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Try it out. You have 4 days.